truly, truly just never giving up. Like that's the answer, because I've seen a lot of people give up right at the time they were about to blow up. A lot of people go home. A lot of people.
Welcome to another episode of Follow Suit. As always, I am your host, P.O. Perry, as some know me. I do have a very special guest. It's a very, very important episode to me because it's a good friend from many years ago. We
Decades.
grew up, like 20 years actually. Grew up in Cleveland together, Maple Heights High School to be exact. She has grown to go on and accomplish and achieve great things. I'm very proud of you, Brittany Mayti.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. What you were saying, I never feel like I have got where I want to be at. Sometimes I have to look back and like, okay, I did that, but it never feels like enough. Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
feel like I've made it yet. So
Well, that's good because you keep you hungry and keep you driving.
absolutely.
So with that being said, like where we grew up at, I tell people all the time, we didn't have like some sort of arts studio or art school that could really highlight people who were creatives like us. And for you to go on and get into acting, get into significant movie roles, travel across the world, how did you get into that given the environment that we grew up in with the lack of like resources to teach you those like we had a drama class, but
Yeah.
we didn't do anything in drama class. So can you kind of dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, I was in the drama club, which was very helpful. I cannot remember the instructor's name, but what really set in me when I was 11 years old, Tri-C, is where I got started. Like my real first taste of professional theater outside of an academic environment. And my
Hmm.
first production was Ultimus Veneficus at the Cleveland Playhouse Theater. So I will shout out to programs like that at Tri-C. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but it was a student-run production, and their play was presented at the Cleveland Playhouse Theater. And that's really when I got
Oh,
the
nice.
bug, and kind of had to just put it on hold a little bit outside of high school plays, until my mom made me go to college and did some theater in college, and then left immediately and went to LA.
So that okay, I was going to ask you that because I didn't know if acting was something that you wanted to do since you were a little girl. Because everybody is like, "Oh man, I would love to be on TV." We watch all that, and it's like I would love to be on Disney or Nickelodeon, and but we never knew a path to get there. So, did your parents like consistently push you into it? Did they see it because like they thought you were like a model looking face, or what was that kind of journey like?
I did. At first, I was in modeling a little bit. So my mom had me at 15. She had me really young. I went to Kent with her.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I went to Kent with her. So she was in college. I was a baby. I went to Kent State University twice, once with my mom, and um, like same professors, in some aspects too, that actually remember my mom. It was really, really beautiful. But
Wow.
so she really didn't know. She was out here just trying to make it. But she did try to get me into some like print model things back then locally. It was one school, I won't name it, that was like a scam that wasn't real back in the day. And really, as I talked about, I'm old. We're both old. I remember looking in the phone book trying to find like modeling jobs. Like we didn't have the internet at our hands back then. So
Yeah.
nobody in my family really knew what to do, or
Hmm.
how to do it. And prior to came to Maple, we lived in Florida for a little bit in Orlando. So like I'm calling like Universal Studios where they're filming like all that, Nickelodeon shows. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I mean, my mom tried. I tried the best I could. And it wasn't until I went to Kent State University, rest in peace, Dr. Fran Dorsey, who led the African Community Theater in the Pan African Studies Department, who had been in the movie Antoine Fisher. He was the guy,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
yeah, shot
Yeah.
him in the corner store. And that was like my first, like, like my first kind of,
I love that movie.
yeah. And he was like, yeah, you could do it. You can do it. And I'm like, all right. My mom wants me to get a real job, majoring in something so I can, be financially secure. And I went off to LA afterwards. So I kind of had to figure out the blueprint myself.
So when you went against kind of like the grain of what your mom wanted you to do, like what was that transition like? Was she still supportive during that process? Not trying to like kick you down, but was it like, well, if you're not gonna go my route, you got to figure it out on your own?
I wouldn't say it was her route. Let me actually backtrack it and go back to Maple Heights. DECA Shout out to Dr.
Yeah, shout out to Deca. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a marketing program where if you won the competition, you were actually going to California. And me and my partner at the time, Juan Sloan, we actually won in the state and went off to Anaheim. And we wound up on the set of Big Mama's House 2. And like, that was like my first.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we weren't in it, but I was like asking the people, the extras, like, how do I do this? How do I, So I forgot about that. But my mom has always been supportive. She just didn't want me to have to struggle. She didn't want me. She knew
Yeah.
about the struggling actress, waiting tables. And so it wasn't that she was derailing my dreams. She just wanted me to have a backup plan. And if I could do things
Got it.
all over again, I would have had marketing as my backup plan and acting as the number one plan, which is why I'm
Got
in
it.
school doing it all over again.
Got it. And I'm gonna dive into that a little
Yeah.
bit later. So you were on the scene as a senior in high school for Big Mama's House
I think we were, was it senior?
and juniors.
I don't remember.
Nobody could have told me nothing. I just left a movie set with Martin. Nigga, you can't tell me nothing.
And wait, later on in life, just tell me how crazy this is. I end up with my mom on Martin's yacht, like the real Martin. Like,
what?
just let me tell you how God works. So I actually developed like a friendship with Martin Lawrence years later after that experience on that set. But
So I'm gonna dive into that too, because I got a lot of questions about meeting like people you looked up to childhood wise and then those interactions. But like when you were a kid, so you said you were 11, you were reaching out, you were looking in the phone books with your old self, looking at all of these different things. Like I remember my mom, my junior year going into senior year of high school, there was a Barbizon Stone modeling agency, right? They came around and they were actively trying to get me. My mom like, you need to do it. You can be this. You so handsome. You need to do that. I'm like, all right, mom, whatever. I'll do it. So I did it. And we went through this whole thing and this whole graduation process. And a lady, I never forget, her name was Marilyn. She actually came up to me at the end of the thing and offered me like a job. She was like, yeah, you got to come to New York. And it's like the summer before my senior year.
what?
But you know me, I was playing football.
Yeah.
I was the captain of the team. I'm like, I'm not about to go to New York to take pictures. Like I'm about to play football in a week. But now I look back on it and I'm like, damn, like I could have been on some, like who knows where that would have led me to at that point. So for you, like to have that trying to search for those resources, who put that into you? Was it just a hunger of like, this is just what I want? Or like what was that like?
I just wanted to prove people wrong.
Okay.
I had people, in my life, even teachers not at Maple, that would say, "Ugh, so many people want to do this. Do you really think, so I think that was just the lighting fire. And I have a running joke in my family that I'm trying to get them out the hood, which nobody is technically living in the hood anymore.
Is in the hood.
But just the persistent, like I read once, like the people who make it are the people who don't give up. And so that's just kind of stuck with me and I'm not going to give up. So it's just something burning inside of me. I want to.
Yeah, and I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the vulnerable side of it, right? Like there's times where things is tough and it's like, man, I don't know why I keep pursuing it. Like you said, you are doing movies and you're doing a lot of things that you accomplished a lot more than anybody ever thought you would.
Yeah.
But you just told me like 10 minutes ago, like I still don't feel like I've made it. So I would imagine that there's moments where it's like, what am I going through all of this for?
Let me tell you, because in this industry, there are times where you are like almost there, right? Almost there. And then you're not, and someone else is, like in a spot. And then sometimes you have to watch, like, how you thought, what if, like when you dated New York, there are people that I see that were in my peer group when I was out in LA that are accomplishing so many things that I was in the same room with. And like, they got parts that I didn't get. And so I'm watching their career thinking like, what if that was me? And that's when I have to get back in touch with God and just knowing like the path for me is for me. And there's no man, no person that can get in the way of that. And sometimes rejection is redirection. So I just keep telling myself that. Because it can get really hard. And it's a very competitive industry, especially if you are a minority and a Black woman.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so okay. I want to put a layer back on that too. So you hear all of these horror stories of like being a woman in the industry, being a black woman in the industry, and then also being like child actors. Those are like the three things that you always hear about. Do you ever come across, and you don't have to tell stories if you don't want to, but do you ever come across like sleaze bags where it's like, I gotta kind of put my guard up or turn it down, even though I know this can change my career, but like I can't jeopardize my character for that.
Absolutely. I could be somewhere else, but could I look myself in the mirror and face myself? No. There is an actress from Cleveland. She went to Warrensville, Yvette Nicole Brown, who went to high school with my mom. My mom went to Warrensville. And like 7 years ago, I was having this conversation with her, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I was telling her about a particular sleaze bag that we won't mention. And she was just
Yeah,
like, if you do it the right way, the moral way, it's going to take you longer. But she was just like, putting God first, it's gonna happen. And she was just speaking that from her career because it took her a little while. Like she didn't hit as soon as she got to LA. She was like, it takes 10 years to make an overnight success, that cliche we always hear. And
yeah.
I don't regret that. There are a lot of opportunities that I potentially could have had and it's not worth my spirit, it's not worth my soul.
Yeah, and I see like, people that we may have looked up to. Like, we don't know what these celebrities are doing in their personal life.
Yeah.
We just honor them for their creative side. You know what I mean? Like, you see like the Diddies and all of that. And then as time goes on, you hear all of these stories and these allegations come out. We don't know what's true and what's not true. But like with you, you're getting a lot of recognition and you're getting a lot of notice now. So more people are starting to get familiar with who you are. Is that something that you have in the back of your mind a fear of like your name being attached to something like that, even though you could be completely innocent in things like that, but just people trying to attack your character as you make it bigger?
You know, the lies are always the loudest. I know I'm using a lot of cliches. So I mean,
No, but it's
not necessarily a fear. But sometimes I do think back when I was living in LA, like, oh my gosh, and I'm hearing some of these things that are coming to light and how, not that I'm associated with it, but it's just a blessing that I didn't go down the wrong path. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
anything to be worried about. But I don't know, like where there's smoke, there's fire.
That's all you got to say. Yep, I agree. I agree. I agree. And that's the main thing. And I don't want to keep putting names on it, but like I saw one celebrity talk about like he stopped being friends with one of his best friends because he felt like fame changed him.
Mm,
He felt like once his platform started growing more and more and more, he started chasing controversy more than content. So they had a huge divide because of that. And that's one thing that I always pray over and just I always try to be conscious of because I never want to be one of those people that like once I get that big viral moment, I don't want to chase those moments because that's the popular thing to do or that's what's going to make me successful.
yeah,
I want to do things that's true to who I am, which is what got me to where I am right now.
that's true. And I mean, in this industry particularly, you are going to lose people. And I don't even think it's always, because fame got a hold of them. It's just I'm responsible for, like I take accountability. Like as I'm fighting for my dream, I'm chasing it. I'm not really connecting with my friends. I'm not calling them. Like I'm so focused. And then when like I'm at
Yeah.
a comfortable point, I'm reaching out and they probably like, well, dang, like where you been? So I feel like
Yeah.
different sides to that, and not saying anyone else isn't working as hard. It's just this is one of the industries where there's not a clear path. Like you can go to school to be a lawyer. Okay. You know that path, right? You can go to school to be a doctor. Bam. Like there you go.
Yep.
Entertainment,
Yep.
it's like a lot of ups and downs, some zigzags, really, really high highs and really, really low lows. So it's just hard for people to understand that. And I think sometimes when people think people like got new or got Hollywood, it's not that. It's that everybody just doesn't understand this grind. It's like no other.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can imagine because I mean I've seen you do it like from a distance consistently,
Mm-hmm.
so I can imagine what it's like up close, and then I see what I'm trying to accomplish. And to your point, it's just a different mindset that it takes because I can't just go and, make a paycheck on Friday just because I recorded an episode today.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? There's a different level of persistence that comes with creators and the dreams that we are chasing.
Yeah.
And for you, what is it like? What is that mindset like? Because you hear probably more no's than yeses, especially trying to get to where you want to go. So, what is it like mentally dealing with rejection and still trying to persevere and get to where you want to go?
Therapy. It was once a point where I thought I could just pray, just pray, pray. And prayer is great. But therapy has been helpful. And it really has been to this point where I am living for the day. And again, here
Hmm.
I am with this cliche. I know we talk about old, that's a common theme. But like I read again that
You said it, not me.
depression is in the past, anxiety is in the future, and peace is in today. And so in this journey, I'm trying to enjoy that I am living my dream. I am. Every day is the dream. Every day God blesses me to wake up. This is a day. Make the best of the day to have joy. Because if I keep reaping on the past, I'm going to be depressed. And if I keep
Yeah.
constantly thinking about the future, I'm going to have an immense amount of anxiety, which I've had. So recently, like in my 30s, it's like, okay, focus on the day. And yeah, so that's how I'm keeping grounded. That's how I'm dealing with rejection and just knowing again that no man can like get in the way of what I'm already supposed to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the way you frame that because people confuse making it with living the dream. Those are two different things to me.
Hmm.
Living the dream is doing something that you love to do
It's the problem.
day in and day out.
Yeah.
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 That's the dream.
Yeah.
Making it for me is getting to a point where we're living off of living in that dream. And my family, we don't have to worry about like, and I'm not talking about being rich. I'm just talking about worrying about the little BS on the day to day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's making it. I want to know that my kid's school is taken care of, whether they got a scholarship or not. I don't have to worry about those
Yeah.
things. I want to know that I have the time to take my wife on this trip. Hey, you want to go here next week? Let's do it. I like to know that I have that at my luxury. So that's making it to me. But the dream is what we're doing right now.
And
That's the dream
you
to me.
mentioned more money, more problems, because you can have a whole lot of money and still be broke, because if you're the only person within your circle that has an abundance, you're going to want to help others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I've had
Yeah. Yeah.
different levels in this journey of financial success, and I don't, like you said, the money isn't really it's so hard to explain. Like, yes, I want to have so
You need it.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be a working
Yeah.
actress. I want consistent work. But just because you get a lot of money does not mean that you've made it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So the best way I could, so T.I. once said, you're upset about your riches because you're piss poor morally.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that was the best way that I can explain what you just said.
that's perfect.
So with you, you always had this dream, like you said, of being an actress since a little girl. This is what I want to do. I'm going to do it, regardless of what my parents say. I'm going to do it. Now you're starting to see success, and now you recently starred in a movie called One Faith with Lil Romeo, who was somebody who, when you were that little girl, was the top of the world. He was this big star, and his dad was the biggest star. So, what is it like to get to that point, and then now seeing the interactions on social media with you and him? It seems like you guys built like some sort of good working relationship, at least on camera. So, what is it like to get to the point where it's like I'm in the room with these people, and now I'm working with somebody that's like, damn, I watched you for forever. What is that like?
It was really surreal. Cause yeah, I grew up. Oh, Roman. I'm not a singer, so we're not gonna go there. But it was surreal, and honestly, shout out to Cleveland, because that opportunity came during COVID. Work had shut down for me. I was living in Atlanta, came back to help with my grandparents, and then someone, oh gosh, Brian Barry with Very Good Films reached out to me about a project. And I was like,
Hmm.
absolutely, what? Filming a movie in my hometown? It was called Workout Partners, did that. It was the director of photography who, be cool with everybody on set, and I want to say that to actresses or whomever, like, everybody, network across. You just never know. You never know. So the director of
Yeah.
photography, Devin, he reached out years later after this opportunity and had me in the pitch deck for the series. It was originally a TV series, One Faith. And I didn't even know I was in the pitch deck. You know, the pitch deck or whomever's listening, it's just like they put characters who they want to be cast, and sometimes they'll like look at that.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And then I didn't even know Romeo was attached to it at that time. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
Wow. You know, like from Cleveland, my first show, you know, in the series at the time is going to be in Cleveland. But anyway, it wasn't until after the fact that I knew Romeo was going to be the executive producer and that he was a part of the process of selecting me to play his sister. So
Wow.
all I can do is thank God. It's a faithful series. Hopefully it goes back to series. We film another second season, but if you watch it, it's set up like a series. So it's a movie on Tubi, but it was originally produced to be a TV series.
So he helped cast you in particular.
I don't know the specific details, but he approved me as his sister. So let's say I was honored and humbled for that.
That's what's up. And you said Devin is he brown skin? He dark skin?
Devin Collins. Yeah, he is brown skin. Yeah.
I feel like does he have a hand in the Cleveland Cleveland Music Film Festival?
He might. I know he does a lot in Cleveland. He might.
And Prather, what's her first name? Was Prather.
Is it Crystal?
Crystal. So they're close, right?
Yes.
Yes, I did work with them.
Oh,
I did work. I know both of them because I saw her in the movie.
Yeah, she plays Faith. And she was also. How did I connect with her? I feel like she was a part of. Like it's all connected. Like she was in.
It's crazy that I did a people don't know I was a thespian in my time, but I did a play at the Playhouse Square with Mr. Johnson, and rest in peace to Mr. Johnson. I appreciate everything he did for me. But Crystal saw me in that, and she was starting to do her own play, and Devin was going to be a part of it, and then they had the Cleveland Film Festival. And they asked me to come do like a cipher for it, and I did the cipher with them for the film festival. So I did work with them. They my peoples.
Look at you. See, if you were still getting your thespian on, you could have been in One Faith. They were casting for that too.
Well, they got a part 2, so maybe
I'll put in the work. Maple. Look.
Maybe I can interview one of y'all on the show and in the movie.
It could be like a podcast segment.
Yeah. Let's make that happen.
It's crazy. I just had an audition to be a podcast. They were looking for real podcast hosts, so I had like a little mic set up for Reasonable Doubt. I didn't get the part, but that just made me think about that. So you just never know. You never know who's going to need someone.
Yeah, well, we can talk off camera about that because I'm okay with that. So you said you ran into Martin and you built a relationship with Martin.
Well, so down the road, it was through someone else. But we grew up having Martin playing.
Yeah.
Not like I probably can quote almost every episode. So that was, I don't know. Like I just can't. Sometimes I think about the people that I knew and know, and but yeah. Yep.
So yeah, because like Romeo is one thing, because I got a lot of respect for him because I watched an interview with him on Monique. Right. And before, when we were kids, you always think like, man, his dad made it and he's just successful because his dad.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget, I was up at like 11 p.m. and Monique had her show and he was on there. And I'm like, damn, man, he is a very intelligent, like he's very sharp and understanding and appreciative of what. And so from that day, I was like, oh, I got a newfound respect. And that probably was like 10 years ago. Yeah. And then I saw he was in an accident. And he went through the process of like getting his body back together and stuff like that. So that was another thing that helped me on my journey too. Just from a distance, he's not somebody that like I idolize or anything like that. But when you see other people, no matter what they look like, go through things that you went through, or you see a true insight of their character, it makes you appreciate them more. But I say that to say in our households, Martin is a different thing in the Black culture. Like that's as good as it get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forget meeting. Some people would rather meet Martin before Denzel. that's just how present he was in our homes.
Yeah.
So what was it? Was it like a shell shock? Was it like how was he was he as welcoming as he seems?
Yeah, absolutely. And I learned in LA that people, no matter how famous they are just people. So I had to learn that quick so that I could be invited to into rooms without being like, you know. But after a while, it was just like, oh, it's smart. You know what I mean? Like just very humble, not like how we see him on the show, always like, what's up? Like, just very
Yeah.
kind, humble, will give you the shirt off of your back. Like I remember we were all out to dinner and it was a homeless man on the street and he just like pulled out a wad of money, no cameras around, and just gave it to him. And I was like, that's the type of success I want. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he just was doing it.
That's making it.
Yeah, and it was like a guy who was trying to, like, I don't know if he was doing music or something, and he just remembered when he was out hustling and being a comedian. But it's just the people that are really successful and have that impact in our household. Being in LA made me realize why they're blessed and why they had that impact. And you get to that level with being a good person. I mean, not all the time, but Romeo and Martin are good examples of like being good humans. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So it comes back to what you said earlier about staying true to your character over over a certain level of success, because that's the point I was trying to make when I was talking about Romeo. It makes sense why
Yeah.
they have the success that they have.
Yeah.
And he can be doing, even he probably can sign off on something with Netflix, but you can see that his father invested like a certain mentality into them to be your own bosses and to learn and be educated and prioritize like ownership to them, because that's something he broke a lot of barriers. Like for somebody to be a rapper, to play in the NBA, and to do all of these different things, to become an agent, he was the original blueprint, and nobody gives them the success. I mean, the flowers that he deserves, because he really set the blueprint for a lot of things that's going on. What's one of the biggest things that you would say that you've learned from just maybe not Romeo or Martin, but just somebody in the industry that you would pass down to other people from the process that you had and the journey that you had?
Um, truly, truly just never giving up. Like that's the answer, because I've seen a lot of people give up right at the time they were about to blow up. A lot of people go
Hmm.
home, a lot of people just to not give up. And I have more. Leveling up to the highest like mastery of you can do. And I know I've said this a lot because school's expensive. But I was researching like Angela Bassett, Sanaa Lathan, Viola Davis, like these successful award-winning Black women, and I noticed they all had an MFA in acting, and I never thought
Hmm.
of that. Again, back when we were younger, I didn't have the computer to see what others had did,
Right.
and why not? Why not whatever you want to do, go back to school for it? Or like, so when you're out there and you're up against other people, yeah, but I have an MFA. Do you know what I mean? Like where you
So
you
yeah.
you show
So
up, you level up, and that's what I'm working on right now, because I was doing a lot of things. I felt like it wasn't really working for me. I wasn't really breaking into network television besides BET. Shout out to BET for blessing me with opportunities.
yeah, congrats.
Thank you. So I'm like, I'm going to level up. I'm going to level up and get to the master level of what I'm trying to do, because doctors do it, lawyers do it. So as an actress, I'm going to make sure I am a master in my craft.
So that's why you got back into school, was
Absolutely.
because of that.
Yeah.
So what now? Because you're a very very busy woman, and you're an old woman. No, I'm joking. But you started it.
Yeah,
You started
I
it.
did. I deserve that.
But for you to have the schedule that you have, how is that trying to balance going? Because school is a full time job in itself, and then you're trying to stay in shape because you gotta look right on camera to keep these jobs. So what is that dynamic like?
It takes a village to raise an actor. Support. Uh, support. I couldn't even tell you, because a day in my life is like classes from like 9 a.m. to 3. Then I hit the gym, I shower, and then I have rehearsals from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's like Monday through Friday. I go to church on Sunday. I have 8 hours of rehearsal on Sunday. Saturday is literally my only free day, and I shoot content, on the side as like a side hustle.
Yeah.
And I still have auditions. So I don't, just discipline, I guess. Discipline is just discipline. That's the only word I could think about
Yeah.
is discipline. Like going
But that's a
to
no, that's true because and that's a perfect word I would say because I mean anything that you want in life, if you're chasing a dream, that's what it's gonna take ultimately.
yeah.
Uh, Um so when I was looking at the clips for One Faith, and I'm gonna watch it tonight actually.
You should
I'm gonna watch the full one. I'm gonna watch the full movie. And I didn't watch the full, I gotta listen, I have a life too. I have a, I have a life
watch
too. But no, so
in the
listen.
background, even if you're not watching it, you gotta,
No. I'm gonna really watch it. I'm gonna really because I like supportive stuff like people I know is in
I
it.
appreciate
But me and my wife, we always have like because I'm doing this and then I coach. So I'm going a lot of the time. So when we get time together, we have to watch like our show.
Oh
So like
yeah.
Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
That's our thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I'll fall asleep.
Same.
So but like it's Saturday. I'll be home after this. I'm gonna watch the show. But in the clips, you're like the comedian of it. And I don't remember you being like jokes. I mean, yes, we joke like this, like
Yeah.
brother sister type of love, but like you're like fucking funny and like
Appreciate it.
when did was that something that you like go went to classes
I
for?
think it was a hidden talent. I come from a very loud and vivacious family in a good way where we're always trying to like compete and, over talk each other. But honestly, I feel
Yeah.
like in high school, I was a little bit more on the shyer side. So I didn't,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think anybody, my mom is hilarious. Like she could be a stand up comedian. And I feel like a lot of my roles where I have to be like sassy or funny, I channel her. So I channel her a lot. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a comedian. I did learn comedic timing, and there's certain levels in scripts where you have beats, like where a joke will
Mm-hmm.
land. You have to pay attention to that. So it's definitely a technique to that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I'm actually goofy, so
Yeah. Well, see, again, I knew that side, but a lot of because you said you were shy, I remember that.
yeah,
You were kind of just like quiet. Nobody really knew all of that about you.
yeah.
And I didn't know it's called chops, right? Is that what it's called?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm being shy again or humble, but like I want to be like, yeah, I'm funny, and then people like, yeah, actually, I watched it and she wasn't. So whatever you want to call it, yeah, I played the character. I played who Kim was supposed to be, the comedic.
I got you.
Because it's not a comedy.
I got you.
It's not a comedy though. The project's not a comedy. So
But so most of the comedies aren't like my favorite movies are like movies that aren't supposed to be funny, but they have that humor and that dynamic in it. You know what I mean? So and I can continue to watch actors who have that, that little role to
yeah,
them, where they can have that sense of humor. So yeah. And one thing I love most about you, no matter what's going on, no matter where life is taking you, anytime I've ever hit you up, you will always be like, hey, I got you.
yeah,
I got you. Whatever you need. And it not like it's like this. Hey, you want to interview on the show? No question. You tell me when. I got you. I appreciate you being that way.
yeah,
Because like you said with Romeo and Martin, they're in the position they're in because of the character. I know you had that too. Because you always have been the same, Brittany. Like, I'm not looking at you like, man, she on TV. Like, that's my people. You know what I mean? And
I,
it's good to see you like that.
I hope, and I appreciate even hearing that because I know for me in that industry, like sometimes I feel like, dang, you meet people and they don't look out, and you think they would, and not like, oh, I'm only doing something for you because later on I hope that you'll like extend the olive branch to me. But I always tell myself, like, no matter what, when I make
Hmm.
it or on that journey, like people that I knew, people that I see out here trying, I'm going to do my best to try to help and support how I can because I've felt that lack thereof of people that I thought would, not that they're expected to help me, that would at least let me get an audition
Yeah,
for
yeah,
something you
yeah.
producing. I ain't asking for a role to be handed out, but like I'll be like, dang, okay. But so I know how that feels and it doesn't feel good. So thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah, no problem. No, thank you. And another thing I wanted to shout you out on, I saw that you were nominated and selected as TV One's Rising Star.
Oh no,
Is
it
that
wasn't
correct?
TV1, but it was that would be a blessing. But it was through an organization. It has really surpassed me. But I used to go to a church called Faithful Central Bible Church in
Mm-hmm.
Inglewood, and Diane Shorte was a member, and she has it's called Love, the Love Awards.
Okay.
Yes, so I they did nominate me. What was that? February, and I was.
Did TV One post it? Because I saw it through
It's
them.
another network. It's close to that name.
Either way,
It escaped.
either way,
Yes. Maybe
either
we
way.
should get back in
Congratulations on
existence
that.
because I did a project called the Bobby DeBarge story on TV One. So um,
Nice.
yeah.
No, yeah, and in the speech, that was the biggest thing that like hit home to me because I was very very close to my grandmothers. I lost them both since moving to Charlotte,
Oh,
and when you move out of state, those little things they just hit home a little harder. And people always ask, how do you deal with grief? How do you deal with grief? And I always say, like for me, I just try and dedicate everything I do to become the person that they raised me to be. And your speech, you honoring your grandmother who was sick, and all of those things, it really hit home for me, and I just like it was beautiful to see.
well, thank you. Yeah, honestly, getting that award was during the lowest point in my life because I went back to school after being a caretaker for my grandmother, and that she
Hmm.
is my heart, and she's still not well. I want to speak life over her. She is doing better, but
Better, yeah.
it's just like it's crazy how life works because she was supposed to come to that event. We were gonna go out to LA, have
Wow.
a little girls trip, and she couldn't. She was in the hospital, and I had to make a choice. And she was like, "Go back to school. I'm gonna be okay." But I feel you. That is such a battle when you don't live next to the people you love the most, and you want to be there for them, and it's tough. And that kind of felt like an anticipatory grief, which I'd never experienced before, where you just don't know what's gonna happen. So,
That's so we dealt with that with my uncle, my grandmother's brother. So you would always assume that if you know something is like they say like, oh, he got X amount of time to live, you would assume that it's better.
oh no,
It's not.
yeah.
It's not. Because now you just like every day waiting on it to happen. And that is like, no, like I don't want to see them struggle knowing like how am I supposed to talk to this person knowing that they going through that mentally. So I definitely understand. And then like you said, your grandma telling you go ahead is because like no matter what she going through, she wants you to still be
Yeah.
what you supposed to become. And that's
Yeah. I had to take that and drive with it, and like I can't let the prayer she had for me go in vain. And so that's what I kind of have to
yeah.
tell myself. Even now, like she still needs help, and I'm like here, and it's a guilt that I still feel with that. But then I know
Hmm.
how hard, and like out of everyone in the world, I know that she wants to see me win. She has
Yeah.
watched everything. She watched One Faith when it came out, but
Oh,
but she,
I'm
that's my dog. That if I had a fan club, she would be the president. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you said that, right?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
I
heard
did.
you say
Oh,
that.
I
Yeah.
got the speeches coming
Yeah.
back to me. My unofficial
Yeah.
club. Ooh,
Yeah.
speeches.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm gonna watch tonight. I'm gonna text you with my feedback and what I love and all of that. And then I'm gonna remember my lines for when you get me into the next and in the sequel.
All right, you
And we
got your
make
connections too. You got to hit up Devin and Crystal. Be like, hey, there you go.
that's funny. Yes, you're right. You're right. I never thought about that. You're right.
Tell them love the
So
show.
yeah, for sure. Quick rapid fire questions to get things wrapped up. What is your favorite type of role to play? Like like a drama, action, comedy?
The one that pays. No, we actually just talked about this in school. I absolutely want to be a series regular on a show, and I mean a series that lasts at least 6 seasons, 100 episodes. Okay, wait, does that even add?
Like my wife and kids type
How did
of.
you know? Stop. How did you know? Um,
Because that's my wife says my parenting style is Michael Kyle.
See,
That's
I
just
would love to do the kind of Tisha Campbell physical comedy type of role. Like I absolutely adore her. She's a genius. From Martin to My Wife and Kids,
yeah,
which I feel like is an underrated show. Like
very
that show
underrated.
was awesome. Then on the flip side of it, I would love to play like a powerful attorney, like the Scandal, Viola Davis, Reasonable Doubt type of show. Because I
Hmm.
have been doing like more silly type of things. So I would love to have a procedural show, but then also in life have some type of sitcom, like the old school sitcoms back. Like Bel Air, I love how
Yeah,
they did like
yeah.
the dramedy, comedy type of situation. But yeah, the role that pays well, at least $10,000 an episode under SAG guidelines.
Yeah,
I would love that.
yeah. We gonna speak that into existence
Yes,
for
Lord.
you.
Yes, from your mouth to God.
Um, if there was one dead or alive actor, actress that you could work with, like, oh, this is my dream. I gotta work with this person. Who would that person be?
There are so many. I don't. Cicely Tyson, rest in peace. And I
Ooh, rest in
just read her
peace.
book, Cicely Tyson.
And if there was one narrative that you can change about the Black culture and how we're viewed, what would that narrative be?
Overall,
Yeah.
and how we're viewed. You know, I wouldn't change a thing about the Black culture, and I would say, can I cuss? I'm not gonna cuss. I would say F the
Yeah, yes, you
way,
can
F
cuss.
the way how people view us, because in most arenas we are like what people aspire to be in a lot of
Yeah,
avenues.
yeah.
So nothing. I wouldn't change a thing. People can see us how they see us, but we're still what people aspire to do, and our dollar goes
Mm,
longer than anyone else's. So
that's probably the best response I got to that question. How you gonna ask if we can cuss? I've been cussing the whole time.
I don't know.
If there was one question, do you have a question for me?
Yes. Well, I don't have a question. I have something to say to you when you mentioned about being a thespian and turning down an opportunity. I hope that I could be an example that it is never too late, because everyone in my cohort is at least 10 years younger than me. So if you want to do that, if that's something else that you want to do, it's never too late.
Well, I appreciate that. I will definitely talk to you offline about those things. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. You are somebody I definitely like appreciate watching from a distance and seeing, like, knowing you personally, seeing what you're doing. I feel good that we can joke like this all the time, just like as if we were in high school, and turn around and watch you on TV and see you on social media winning. So I'm happy to call you a friend, annoying big sister, older sister, not big sister, older sister.
Not by much. Actually, we might be the
No,
same age. I don't know.
wait, yeah, what year? What
I
year?
graduated high school at 17.
I'm December 11th. I'm December 11th of '87.
All right. I don't think I've ever told my age,
Ah,
but I'm 38.
okay. I'll be 38 in December.
There we go. We're the same.
But we the same age. We the same age. Well, I appreciate you and your time. Um, many more continued blessings to you. As I always say, as a culture, we've been dealt a bad hand, and they expect us to follow suit. But we're trying to change the narrative of that. Shout out to Oak Lord Distillery or Distilling, Oak Lord Distilling for the bottles, gold level spirits. Brittany, I appreciate you. Much love always.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you later.